You join me in the Blue Mountains to catch a rather interesting bus, a Scania K270UB with a custom CB80 body. Making our way out of Katoomba on a pleasant but fresh November 2021 morning, I was very excited to be back on public transport, especially after the preceding months. Prior to this trip, I had never had the chance to explore the Blue Mountains on my own, so this ultra-long day trip from Parkes proved to be a fabulous opportunity to try out some of the public transport offerings across the mountains. Other than a few images online and an occasional browse of the fleet lists, I knew very little about public transport in the mountains, so it was a nice treat to see this rather special bus. For my Brisbane viewers, if this seat fabric looks familiar, it's the same pattern that you'll see on many buses at Thomson's bus service. Back to the 685 service, this bus travels between Katoomba and Wentworth Falls on a loop service, also travelling via Leura Town Centre. During the week, some services travel via the Great Western Highway instead. As with most Blue Mountains bus services, the 685 primarily feeds passengers onto the rail network or into key retail centres like Katoomba. My journey between Katoomba and Wentworth Falls took about 25 minutes, or about 15 minutes longer than it would on the train. So, what does this bus have for the journey? These bench seats are well padded and comfortable, and in early build CB80 fashion, feature the round stop bell buttons and a plastic aircon vent to help minimise squeaks and rattles. There is also a radio, but whether that's a positive or not, I'll leave for you to decide. For internally combustible music, the Scania K270UB is fitted with an 8.9 litre DC9 engine, putting out, you guessed it, 270 horsepower and 1250 newton-meters of torque. This is a 2010 build, and around this time Scania started offering Euro 5 versions of most of their engines, but I'm not sure if this is Euro 4 or 5. Let's have a quick listen now. For short hops across the various suburbs of the mountains, I quite enjoyed this bus, as it's generally in pretty good shape, although there is a few odd spots of graffiti which are a shame to see. On this day trip, I also caught a Volvo B7 RLE, one of the many that CDC has recently deployed around the mountains, and I also jumped on board a Scania K270UB with the same body style. And last, but of course not least, I parked my car at Mount Victoria on this trip and commuted through the upper mountains by train, all experiences which I have previously shared on Talking Planning, so go and check them out. In summary, I do have quite a soft spot for the mountains, and I reckon that public transport is one of the best ways to explore the area. There's no need to queue for parking spaces in Katoomba town centre. You get to enjoy the scenery while someone else does the driving. And if you feel like a beer or two at Mountain Brewing Co., there's no need to argue over designated drivers. So on the whole, it's a positive experience, and I'm just about to arrive into Wentworth Falls too. So I've just arrived at Wentworth Falls, and that was a ride on board a Blue Mountains Transit Scania K270UB with a custom CB80 body. A pretty unique choice, and it was a good, enjoyable ride. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you again soon.